Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime Video. This week, it's a rivalry renewed as the Philadelphia Eagles take on the New York Giants. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with football's best party, TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. Not a Prime member? Not a problem. Simply sign up for a 30-day free trial. It's the Eagles and the Giants, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only on Prime Video. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Now, back to the interview from a few minutes ago with Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. The best of the morning X. 99X.
We're going to pull the Jerry Springer thing. I'm going to come out, and if you have a good question, not...
Jerry's here?
Yeah, I'm going to pull the Jerry Springer in the
Jerry
audience.
Springer's children?
We've got faxed questions, and we'll get some questions from you guys. So if you have a question, put your hand up, and we'll get over to you. And make it a good question, please.
Got another question here from a listener, David. Is there one song lyric that comes to mind that you were especially proud of when you wrote it?
I think every song, with me, so much of my stuff it might be impressionistic, but the great body of it is almost autobiographical, even though it's only strangely associated with how I live my life. But at the moment, the lyric that means the most to me is on the new album. It's called 7 Years in Tibet. That's a long, involved story, but when I was a kid, I was kind of a 15-minute Buddhist. And I had an association with something called the Tibet Society, and I met a number of Tibetans, and one of them became my teacher at the time. And I kind of lost contact over the years. This is 35 years ago. And I was in my 20s, late 20s.
Mm-hmm. No, I just said...
Nobody here is up for math, right?
It got really quiet for a second.
So, and then I got prodded by guilt when I saw the Dalai Lama coming out over the last couple of years, explaining and trying to focus on the situation that's happening in Tibet with the invasion of the Chinese in 1956, still there, committing genocide on the country and thoroughly ruining it, taking it apart, reducing their culture to ashes. And I saw so many celebrities, so-called, actually taking an active part in broadcasting these facts, and I kind of, my guilt got prodded a bit, so that's how I contributed this song. And do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Sure. This really wasn't a lead up to it.
It works for us.
David Bowie live on 99X.
I can't believe this is in order. Thank you very much for giving us that cue. That's really good.
Good segue.
Good segue. All yours.
We're live at Smith's Bar with David Bowie, Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy, our anniversary party all week. David, we have a question from one of the audience members.
That's new, right? That's one of the new ones?
Sorry? Yeah, that's new.
I don't know her name, but I can hear her heart pounding from here. What's your name?
Alex Omley.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
You're fabulous.
She had a lot of great questions. I recognize the name. She faxed in a ton of really good questions.
Thank you.
Okay, go.
Did you get to meet Jim Henson? And
Yes, I did.
What was that like?
Henson, I found very quiet, very intelligent, active mind who was genuinely concerned with how children receive information. I liked him very much indeed.
Did you get to be on The Muppet Show?
No, I never did.
Aww.
No, I did a movie with him, a thing called Labyrinth.
Thank you for your question.
Actually, one of the questions that came in had to do, well, a lot of them had to do with your acting, but one that...
There's a lot of questions about my acting.
Not critiques, David.
Not questionable, but questions regarding your acting career. Which roles are more fulfilling? Those like in Labyrinth or Labyrinth? I don't know the correct pronunciation.
Labyrinth is nice.
Okay.
I used to drink it in Paris in the early 20s.
That's right. Those like in Labyrinth that work off your musical creativity, or strictly dramatic roles like Elephant Man that have no musical tie-in, which are more personally fulfilling?
I think it goes hand in hand. I'm not a keen actor. I don't really enjoy the process very much. I'd love to be a film star, but the amount of work that seems to have to go with it, you have to like learn how to act, and and it's like more fun just to see your name on a poster, and that would appeal to me, but I don't have the ambition or the determination.
You're a results guy, much like Barnes.
Yeah, I think the results are all...
He just wants to get to the result.
We just want the poster and everything, and then I don't want to do the work.
However, there's the odd moment. I did a film with Martin Scorsese, The Last Temptation of Christ.
Yeah.
I'm working with somebody like that. I guess it puts it all in place, because he suddenly showed me that you can really be creative as an actor. And there are 2 or 3 directors only that I've worked with who really allow you freedom to kind of just play at what you're doing more. And Scorsese is one of them. I mean, it was a fantastic experience working with him.
Probably the best American filmmaker we have.
Just sensational.
Easily. Another question from the audience. What's your name?
Maria Alabiso. Hi.
Hello.
You can stop shaking. It's okay. He's not going to hit you or anything.
First off, real quick, my daughter loves you in the movie Labyrinth that you played, and she just loved you in that. She didn't know who you were, and I had to fill her in, but she's a big fan. But real
How
quick,
did you fill her in? Maybe keep that to yourself.
My favorite song is Satellite of Love with Lou Reed. With that song, I love. I listen to it a lot still. But real quick, I was curious, what was your inspiration for the song Jump on Black Tie, White Noise? That song's really touched my life personally.
Really?
And I was curious. Yeah. I have an autistic brother that
You
just
do?
really reminds me a lot of him. And
Yeah, you know about that then. It was associated, a half-brother that I had some very serious mental problems, and unfortunately committed suicide in the middle 80s. And again, I dwelt and been eaten up by the whole series of incidents surrounding my brother and his life. And I guess my closure was to express it in some way through that song.
thank you for that song. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Another question from our sheet, and then maybe if you want to perform another song.
Sure.
But one of the listeners wanted to know, David Bowie, what's the worst job you've ever had?
The worst job I ever had was pulling lobster. Oh, I can't do that. Who knows Pete and Dud?
Pete and Doug?
Yeah, well, you were on the bus.
The worst job I ever had was a series of sketches performed by Peter Cook and Dudley Moore on an extremely blasphemous bootleg album that they put out a number of years ago. Obviously nobody. You should try and get hold of it. This is so funny. The worst job, I think the worst job I ever had was, I tell you a job, no, I can't, I've had some not too bad jobs. One was sort of, it was a letterpress place where you had to just copy off printing.
Mm-hmm. You worked at a Kinko's.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Picture that.
And
Would you like single or double-sided, sir?
Oh, you don't know the jobs I've done. I did waiting, I did, all kinds of stuff when I was a kid. But the Kinko job, as you put it, was good because you just, you could go in any time during the day if you got a few hours spare between rehearsals or looking for gigs and all that. And you could just do it by the hour, so it was, just something.
And print up your own concert posters for free.
But my brother, the one I just mentioned about the other song, told me a job that he had once, where he read in the newspapers that there was this job where a uniform is provided and it was a good salary a week. So he went along, and there was a huge barren backyard with what looked like an enormous beehive, sort of like 30 foot high. And the guy said, well, here's your uniform, get ready. So it's this white boiler suit that he was putting on. I said, what do I do? He said, well, those are coffee beans in there. And what we're going to do is lower you down on this crane into the thing. And you have to sort them out into the various different thing. And he said, well, why are you he said, well, we have to lower you down because you'll pass out in about 8 minutes. And then we have to pull you out.
They just pull you out
until you revive.
And revive you, huh?
That's a nice job.
It's one of the worst jobs I've heard of.
Do you possess a skill that if this all ended today, you could make a living doing that skill?
I make very bad cupboards and chairs. I'm moderately okay at carpentry.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone knows the legend of D.B. Cooper, but what if I told you there's an even better story out there? One with multiple aircraft hijackings, prison escapes, and so many twists and turns. I'm talking about the hit podcast, American Skyjacker, which is now an action-packed documentary coming to theaters and streaming this fall. Find out more at www.americanskyjacker.com and listen to the bonus episode of the podcast on October 7th. American Skyjacker. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Comedy might be. After all the jokes you've been throwing out, comedy might work too. You want to play, David?
I'd love to do something, yeah.
David Bowie live on the Morning X. He asks, how are we doing on time? As long as you want to stay, right?
This is an exploration of the 20th century. 32 years ago, I was in the studio with one of the several thousand bands that I had when I was in my teens, and we were doing a record, I think with Shel Talmy producing. Shel Talmy produced all the Kinks and the Who and a lot of those bands. Shel had found a new session kid. He was just out of art school, and he was the hot kid on the block. He was like 16 years old, and he and his mate had invented this little machine called the Fuzz Box. His name was Jimmy Page. His name was Jimmy Page. So we were... I was doing this atrocious version of, I think it was Bobby Bland's I Pity the Fool. I don't know if anybody's into blues. Pity the fool that falls in love with you. One of those things. And during breaks, Jimmy said, I got this riff. I said, well, you have to see a doctor about it. He said, I'm not using it. I don't quite know what to do with it. You might like it. So he gave it to me. So this was Jimmy's riff, which was... I thought that was so cool. I mean, it was just 2 strings. I thought that's really nice. I didn't know what to do with it. I played around with it for a few weeks, and I came up with a song on one of my first albums. The album was called The Man Who Sold the World, and the song... But I'm not doing that. And the song was called The Superman, and it was like... So it was... And then last year, whilst we were in the studio, I said, here, Reeves, I got this riff that Jimmy Page once gave to me. And I opened up this little box, and I took this riff out, and I said, here you are, I hand it on to you. And so this riff is on its way into the next, what is it?
Excalibur.
Excalibur. This is so stupid.
Should I just play the damn song?
Just play the damn song.
Live at Smith's Old Bar.
Breakfast with Bowie continues on the best of the Morning X after a quick break.
We are the musers on the pod so far. We've discussed people we love.
I didn't tell you guys. Cuban emailed.
What are you wearing?
Well, no, that's not.
Things we love. Got way into typewriters.
How many typewriters do you own?
Let's not podcast anymore.
Just estimate.
It's time to get really down and dirty.
These are great ideas. Start a podcast and then forget to promote it on social media.
So,
what is our podcast about? Yeah, whatever we feel like.
The Musers, the podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.